At 7 o'clock right now, a look at an effort by local high schoolers to help combat food insecurity in their community. Plus, it is Super Bowl Sunday. We'll go to New Orleans with a look at what to expect with today's big game.
And it's going to be a cold Super Bowl for southern Wisconsin. I'll talk more in detail about the forecast coming up.
Good Sunday morning, and once again, we thank you for joining us here on this Sunday morning. I'm Kyle Pazorski on this February the 9th. Let's start with a look at the first warm forecast. And Jacob, like you mentioned, it's going to be a little bit of a cold Super Bowl Sunday. What else do we have in store today?
Well, we're actually going to see a lot of sunshine today, but despite that, temperatures are going to be on the colder side. Now, looking at the current radar, we are still seeing some very light flurries in the southeastern portion of Wisconsin. However, these are going to clear up pretty quickly. And as I mentioned, plenty of sunshine is in the forecast. Now, looking at the current temperatures, the only reason they're fairly mild, at least a little bit milder compared to northern counties in southern Wisconsin, is the fact that we're still seeing some cloud cover for Dane County and areas to the south and east. But the areas that are seeing the clear skies right now, allowing that heat to escape up into space, we are seeing those temperatures in the single digits and even below zero for a few locations, -4 for you folks in Eau Claire. The good news is that the wind's pretty calm right now, but there are a few areas seeing a little bit of a breeze, and it just takes a tiny bit of wind for those northern counties to have very cold wind chills. -18 is the wind chill in Eau Claire, -20s further west. Again, not as bad in southern Wisconsin, but the only reason is that we are seeing that cloud cover, which has kind of kept the temperatures a little bit warmer than what was expected. Now, throughout the day, again, plenty of sunshine, highs only in the middle 20s. So although they are going to be cold, they're not going to be, bitterly cold during the afternoon, but they are going to be a little bit below average and colder than yesterday. Highs near 20 for La Crosse. Winds not too bad throughout the day. Now, in general, we're going to continue to see cold temperatures, but we also have a few chances of snowfall in the future. Not today, at least after those flurries clear out, but we do have some snow this week. I'll talk about that coming up a bit later.
You got any plans for the Super Bowl?
My parents will be coming up, but I'll be staying at my place here.
Oh, nice. Well, enjoy it, people, if you're going to be having some Super Bowl parties. I myself, I'll be coming back here to work later today, so that'll be my Super Bowl.
Are you going to be, could I catch you on the news?
No, I don't think so. I'm going to be doing some background work.
Oh, well, have fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, Jacob. We'll check back in just a bit. So watch this. 1 of 10 people are facing food insecurity in Wisconsin, but Middleton high schoolers are taking the matters into their own hands. Our Ellie La Liberté has a story.
We're with Middleton Meals Matter, and we're hosting a food drive for our local food pantry today. If you could get anything on that list and donate right over there, it'd be greatly appreciated.
When we started this, we never could imagine how rewarding it could feel, seeing like all these people coming to food drives, being excited to volunteer, being excited to donate.
Middleton High School seniors Wyatt Earhart and Noah Duckett have a vision.
We wanted to make an impact somewhere, and we wanted to help our community.
A vision to fight food insecurity.
And when we heard that that food insecurity was at a 30-year all-time high, we knew something had to be done.
So they co-founded Middleton Meals Matter.
We've been going for 7 months now.
And in those 7 months, they've raised roughly 26,000 pounds of food and nearly $20,000.
We never imagined. I mean, honestly, the first time we were planning like this whole thing, we wrote down on a piece of paper, like our goals for this year were to raise like 200 pounds of food.
Partnering with Way Forward Food Pantry.
And one thing they said is how grateful they were for us and us being here. They just ran out of toilet paper, and we came in and refilled all their stocks. It's something that seems so small, but we can really see the impact firsthand.
So once a month, the group gets outside stores like this one.
Have a good one.
To continue the food fight.
So if you can do something, do something. These people are great for sitting out in the cold and trying to get people to donate a few things so somebody can maybe have a little something.
Reporting in Madison, Ellie La Liberté, News 3 Now.
And Ellie, thank you. The group is also working to promote youth volunteering, going to middle and elementary schools and talking with other districts to expand the program. Got some other news stories we're following this morning. A federal judge has restricted the Elon Musk-led government efficiency team from accessing a critical Treasury Department payment system. The order was issued Saturday morning, stopping access temporarily and demanding the destruction of any downloaded information, saying there is a risk of irreparable harm. This all comes in response to a suit filed by a New York Attorney General, along with 18 other state attorneys general, against the Trump administration. An Amber Alert continues for a missing teen from Beaver Dam. A video that you're going to be seeing here is of a 16-year-old Sophia Franklin, who is believed to be 3 months pregnant. She was last seen Monday with 40-year-old Gary Day. Day is believed to be the father of her child. Now the Amber Alert is extended to Arkansas, and authorities say Day was last seen in a 2014 Buick LaCrosse. The Wisconsin State Journal is apologizing to its subscribers after not publishing their print and e-papers this past week. They have now confirmed their parent company was a victim of a cybersecurity attack and have notified law enforcement. Saturday's edition says that the attack shut down many of Lee Enterprises' networks, going on to say the company is working to identify and implement steps to prevent this from happening again. A patient at UW Health has become the first in the world to be treated for Sjögren's disease. It is a disorder that affects moisture-producing glands in the eyes, mouth, and other parts of the body. The health system made the announcement on Friday that Julie McGowan of Madison received the treatment. While the goal of this first phase of the trial is to show that the therapy is safe, Julie has already noticed that it has actually caused her glands to produce saliva, and there is currently no FDA-approved treatment for Sjögren's disease. All right, let's take another live look at the Superdome, Super Classic Stadium there. That's where the Super Bowl is happening today. Love seeing it. There's right now an extensive security plan that is underway to keep everyone safe there. And this includes President Donald Trump as well as former First Lady Jill Biden, who will both be attending the big game. It all begins at 5:30 Central Time between the AFC's Kansas City Chiefs and the NFC's Philadelphia Eagles. The game will be broadcast on the Fox network. Time now is coming up on 7:07, still ahead. Got the latest news out of Washington as a federal judge blocks an effort to reduce the government spending. We have more on that. Plus, Jacob is back with the full Force One forecast as we wake up with a look outside. This is Weekend Mornings. Welcome back. Madison's Frozen Assets Festival continues on today. Yesterday, nearly 800 people got out onto the ice for the Frozen Fun Run Walk. The festival wraps up tonight and has already raised more than $30,000, and it's all in support of a way to help the Clean Lakes Alliance protect Madison's chain of lakes. Also happening this weekend, the Garden and Green Living Expo is taking place at the Alliant Energy Center. The event in its 32nd year aims to connect gardeners and environmental enthusiasts. Organizers say the expo acts as a nice break from the barren sights of snow and ice, which are all too commonplace during the winter season. The event spans a wide range of outdoor professionals.
Over the course of the weekend, we have over 140 educational sessions available. Those are seminars and demonstrations. And then we have just a ton of professionals in their field. We have landscapers, we have houseplant people, we've got natural lawns, anything you could be looking for in the outdoors, garden art, pottery. I mean, we've got it here.
Well, if you have a green thumb but missed out on the fun yesterday, you can all still check it out today from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Jacob, would you rather go inside to the Garden Expo or outside to Frozen Lakes?
I don't know. Both actually do sound very interesting. I thought you were going to say inside or outside. I was going to say easy choice would be inside today, but you know, the frozen lake does seem very intriguing. I don't know. I'm going to have to pass on that answer, unfortunately. Now let's take a look at the 3 things you need to know. It's going to be cold this week with some light snow Monday night, but a better chance of snow does look to be in the forecast for Wednesday and then again Friday into Saturday. But looking at the forecast for the next 48 hours or so, we're going to see clear skies for much of today, and that's going to continue for the most part overnight. We'll see some passing clouds, but a lot of the area will see clear skies, maybe some fog tomorrow morning. And then we're going to see sunshine to start the day. Clouds will increase for the afternoon, and then after sunset, we'll start to see some of those snow showers move in, and we'll continue to see some scattered snow showers throughout the evening and early overnight hours. It will clear out of the area well before sunrise Tuesday, so this is not going to be a big issue as it will occur between sunset Monday and sunrise Tuesday. And accumulation will only be about an inch at most, and that will mostly be for areas west of Madison. Most of our areas should see some falling snow at some point, but again, not going to see a lot. So Plenty of sunshine today, highs in the 20s, teens for highs further north. For tonight, or for tomorrow rather, we'll have highs once again in the 20s and once again in the teens for northern counties with a little bit more cloud cover, especially later in the day. And overall temperatures are going to be on the cooler side going forward. They're going to barely reach 20 degrees, if that, for Tuesday through Thursday. And then we're going to see some cold temperatures to start next week as well. Average high is 29 by the end of the 10-day forecast. It'll be in the lower 30s. And we're still going to be below that level. So overall, the trend is going to kind of switch from what we've seen over the last week or so, where we've had some very mild temperatures. And take a look at the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, showing very easily we're going to have below normal temperatures for Madison and the entire Great Lakes region. A lot of the central and eastern United States will be cold with the exception of southern Florida, and the southwestern portion of the United States will be above normal as well. But the story going forward will be, it's going to be very winter-like across our area. Temperatures will be cold, and we do have a good chance of some snow both Wednesday afternoon and evening into and as well as Friday into Saturday. Again, the amount of snowfall that we could see is still very unclear, and we'll continue updating the forecast accordingly. But right now, there is a good chance of snow, both of those time frames, and I would advise everyone to just be aware that, you know, some accumulation is definitely possible. Also want to point out that these wind chills for the morning hours will likely drop below zero several mornings over the next 10 days. They could happen tomorrow morning and Tuesday morning, and in those situations, the actual temperatures may be in the teens, and then later in the week, they're going to be in the single digits. Early next week, we actually may see temperatures drop below zero, and those are the actual temperatures. So wind chills will likely be even colder than that. So in general, cold temperatures going forward with several chances of snowfall this week.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Some international news now. North Korea's Kim Jong-un on Saturday reaffirmed that his government has a firm commitment to advancing their nuclear forces. Their remarks came during a speech made during a visit to the Defense Ministry to commemorate the founding of its army. Kim said U.S. deployments of nuclear strategic assets, war exercises, and military cooperation with Japan and South Korea were inviting military imbalance in the region and raises a grave challenge to North Korea's security environment. Some national developments. The search for a missing plane in Alaska has concluded. It was on Thursday when a regional commercial aircraft operated by Bering Air en route to Nome, Alaska disappeared from radar. 2 of the 10 people who died in the plane crash have been identified. Information on the pilot and the other 7 passengers has not yet been released. The U.S. Geological Survey says the aircraft was found 34 miles southeast of Nome. So far, officials have not commented on any possible causes of the crash, but the investigation is underway. Let's take a live look now at the White House. Today, President Trump will become the first sitting president to attend the Super Bowl, and it comes as he continues to carry out his agenda. But it's that agenda that's bringing more protests in response to ICE raids that are taking place across the country. CBS's Christian Benavides reports.
As President Trump prepares to leave his Mar-a-Lago state and head to New Orleans to attend this year's Super Bowl, protests are taking place across the country over his immigration raids.
We are here today to say ICE out of our communities, to say no to mass deportations, and to stand with our immigrant neighbors.
From California to Denver to right outside his golf course in West Palm Beach, Florida. Let me see your hand. Since Trump took office, Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers are carrying out about 1,000 arrests per day. At the southern border, some of the 10,000 Mexican troops who were deployed in exchange for a delay in tariffs were out inspecting vehicles at the Tijuana border crossing. While to the north, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was heard on a hot mic warning that Trump is serious on his proposal to make Canada a part of the U.S.
Trump has it in mind that one of the easiest ways of doing that is absorbing our country, and it is a real thing.
On the domestic front, Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency has been given Trump's blessing to go over spending at multiple agencies.
On education, just about everything.
DOGE is facing legal challenges as it tries to shut down government agencies such as USAID, something the Constitution says only Congress has the power to do. Christian Benavides, CBS News.
And Canada's trade minister said that the country is working to deepen its economic ties to Europe, given the threat of U.S. sanctions. Gamers who use Sony's PlayStation Network are connected once again after a massive outage knocked out that service, lasting about 24 hours. The outage happened Friday night. Sony says PlayStation Network has about 116 million monthly users. It was back in 2011 when almost all PlayStation Network subscribers lost access to its servers for nearly a month following a data breach. Right now, it is unclear what caused this most recent outage. It is now 7:18, still ahead. Some security measures are now in place for the Super Bowl, and all those details next. Plus, here's a look at today's day in history.
Let's take a moment and check out some weather photos submitted to us. This first photo sent in by Terry from Prairie du Sac. Thank you, Terry, for submitting your photos. And while I show the next one, I do want to point out that if you would like to submit your own weather photo, you can scan that QR code in the top left of the screen. I'll show you another way to submit photos if you can't at the moment. But here's another photo sent in by Amy from Evansville. Thank you, Amy. And it looks like there's some ice out there. That's a really cool photo with the sun. Thank you, Amy, for submitting that photo. Once again, you can scan that QR code to submit your own weather photo. But if you can't, you can go to our website, channel3000.com. Click on the weather tab, scroll down until you see post your own, then give us your name and location. It is as simple as that. We love receiving the photos, so thank you all for submitting them.
All right, Jacob, thank you. To some sports news and the Super Bowl, we are just hours away from the big event, the Philadelphia Eagles. And
if by some unlikely twist of fate, the Eagles win on Sunday, I'll send you some Missouri grown beef, along with some Kansas City favorites, including Gates barbecue sauce. It's fantastic. Scott's Kitchen Rub and Barbecue Sauce, and the famous Chase Candy Company Cherry Mash. So what do you say? Or are you still recovering from last time? Your move, Governor.
Let me tell you something, Gov. These steaks and these pretzels aren't going anywhere because the birds are going to win.
Well, those are the governors of both respective states squaring off about who they wish to win the Super Bowl. And again, it will kick off at 5:30 Central Time tonight. Rapper Kendrick Lamar is gearing up for his Super Bowl halftime show. Fresh off his 5 Grammy wins this past week, Lamar is in the Big Easy, getting ready for the biggest performance of his career. Lamar performed in the 2022 Legends of Hip Hop halftime lineup, but this performance will be the first solo rap act to headline the halftime show in the broadcast's almost 60-year history.
It's a true art form, so to represent it on this type of stage is like everything that I've worked for and everything that I believe in as far as the culture. I like to always carry on that sense of, make people listen, but also see and think a little.
Lamar is not the only musical talent who will light up the Caesars Superdome. John Batiste will hit the stage to sing the national anthem, and Christian artist Laurel Daigle and Trombone Shorty are set to perform America the Beautiful, all before the big kickoff. And as New Orleans prepares to host Super Bowl 59, an extensive security plan is underway to keep players and fans safe. President Donald Trump and former First Lady Jill Biden will also be attending the big game, and that means even more security. Jen Sullivan reports on the extra precautions being taken.
New Orleans is getting ready to host Super Bowl 59, the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. And while crews are putting the finishing touches on the field, law enforcement is taking every precaution on the streets.
We are going to have approximately 2,000 law enforcement officers throughout this week.
With 73,000 fans expected at the game, law enforcement says they'll have eyes in the skies with drones and helicopters, as well as street barricades and even boats in the river to patrol.
I have never seen this level of security in the city of New Orleans in all of my years.
The Super Bowl comes just weeks after New Year's Day celebrations in New Orleans were marred by a deadly terror attack. A man driving his truck into a crowd of people on Bourbon Street before being fatally shot by police. 14 people were killed and dozens more injured.
It was a horrible, reprehensible act.
Eric DeLawn with the Department of Homeland Security says that attack made them reassess their security plans, including bringing more federal law enforcement into the city. The New Year's Day attack raised questions as to why the city didn't have functional street barricades to protect the crowd celebrating, which is why they're ramping up security even more ahead of the Super Bowl.
We also have a national response team that will be on the ready and on standby, ready to respond if anything should happen.
Adding to the heightened safety concerns, President Donald Trump will be attending the big game, according to the White House. Former First Lady Jill Biden also expected to attend. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
And it was this past week when Homeland Security said they hadn't had any specific credible threats towards the Super Bowl, and that is certainly some good news. Well, there is still a half an hour of news to come here on Weekend Mornings. Next, we're going to head through the morning's top headlines. We're back. It's 6:30 right now. A federal judge blocks access to a group looking to cut government spending. We've got the details straight ahead. Plus, a cyber attack at the parent company of one of Wisconsin's largest newspaper networks. What the company's saying. Then later, Madison's Frozen Assets Festival continues on today. How the event aims to keep our 4 lakes clean. This is Weekend Mornings, and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Pazorski here on this Sunday, February the 9th. And let's start, as always, with a look at the first warn forecast, and Jacob is standing by with that. Good morning, Jacob.
Good morning, Kyle. We're still seeing some light flurries out there, mainly in the southeastern portion of the state. However, these flurries are going to clear out very quickly, and most of the region has seen the snow come to an end. Now, as we take a look at the current temperatures, we're still seeing some cloudy skies in southern Wisconsin, so that's keeping temperatures up a little bit. But the areas that are seeing the clear skies further northwest are seeing very cold temperatures, temperatures in the single digits to below 0 for La Crosse and surrounding areas, -4 for you folks in Eau Claire. And looking at the temperature change from 24 hours ago, the locations that are seeing those temperatures drop because of the clear skies, over 20 degrees colder than this time yesterday. And still in southern Wisconsin, around 10 degrees colder than this time yesterday. Looking at the current wind chills, well below 0 for areas to the west and northwest, -teens for Eau Claire and portions west in Iowa and Minnesota. And we're going to have a lot of mornings where the wind chills are at least a little bit below 0 going forward. Now, the good news is that we're going to see plenty of sunshine and calm winds today, but the temperatures are going to be on the colder side. Highs will only be in the middle 20s for Madison, and for La Crosse, highs may only get to around 20, so it definitely will be colder than yesterday despite the sunshine. And as I mentioned, cold temperatures are going to continue, but we also have several chances of snow. I'll talk more in detail about both coming up a little bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. We'll check back in just a bit. Getting to our top stories this morning, a federal judge has restricted the Elon Musk-led government efficiency team from accessing a critical Treasury Department payment system. The order was issued Saturday morning, stopping access temporarily and demanding the destruction of any downloaded information, saying there is a risk of irreparable harm. The order comes in response to a suit filed by a New York Attorney General along with 18 other state attorneys general against the Trump administration. The president had this to say on Friday about Musk's effort to cut spending.
And it's amazing, actually, what they've exposed, and to a level where they cut 97% of the people out. The whole thing is a scam.
The effort, which the Trump administration calls the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, is intended to cut government costs drastically, but has sought access to critical computer systems, including the Treasury payment system. Well, have you gotten your newspaper lately? That's a question a lot of Wisconsin State Journal subscribers are asking. And the Journal is now apologizing after not publishing their print and e-papers this past week. They have now confirmed their parent company was a victim of a cybersecurity attack and have notified law enforcement. Saturday's edition says that the attack shut down many of Lee Enterprises' networks, going on to say the company is working to identify and implement some steps to prevent this from happening again. Staying locally in the Madison region, Monona police say a person has been arrested following a chase Saturday afternoon. According to police, they attempted to perform a traffic stop on West Broadway in Monona when the driver refused to stop. The vehicle's tires were deflated by police but continued, and the driver further attempting to throw away evidence out of their window. The chase ended in a department store where the suspect was arrested after exiting their car. Police located the 9mm firearm that you're seeing, as well as marijuana and dozens of counterfeit $100 bills in connection to this chase. The National Transportation Safety Board announced on Saturday that workers have recovered all major pieces of wreckage from the mid-air collision near Reagan National Airport. All 67 people who were on board the two aircraft, a regional jet and military helicopter, died. Workers first removed the victims from the crash scene and have spent about a week now clearing the debris from the Potomac River. The NTSB is storing the wreckage at an airport facility so investigators can try to determine what caused the collision. Let's take a live look now at the Superdome in New Orleans, the iconic site of Super Bowl 59. It'll take place there later today. An extensive security plan is now underway to keep everyone safe, and this includes President Donald Trump and former First Lady Jill Biden, who will both be attending the big game. Here's some details that you might want to know if you want to catch the game. It all begins at 5:30 Central Time between the AFC's Kansas City Chiefs and the NFC's Philadelphia Eagles. Game will be broadcast on the Fox network. To more local news, Madison's annual Frozen Assets Festival continues out on Lake Mendota today, raising money to protect Madison's 4 lakes. Tanisha Shaw is on the ice with more.
Skating. I love skating on the ice. I think in the winter it's one of the best things you can do.
It's typical to see ice skaters on Lake Mendota in the winter. Saturday, hundreds of people got on the ice to give back.
We're really excited because we almost had 800 people come out and do the Frozen Fun run walk on the lakes.
Colin Bailey is a junior at UW and says seeing people on the ice with him is refreshing.
It's so nice, especially in the winter when usually you walk around and you don't see that many people. When you're out on the ice with everyone, it's amazing.
In addition to skating, attendees saw dancing, science experiments, kites, and more.
14 to 16 inches thick of ice, which turns this into Wisconsin's biggest outdoor park.
The festival wraps up Sunday evening. It has already raised more than $30,000.
Kleenex is all about creating watershed stewardship for people to know what they can do. So we do education, water quality monitoring, volunteerism, beach cleanups.
If you can't make it out this year, it's okay. There's ways to support Madison's lakes throughout the year.
Volunteerism and remembering, salt on the sidewalks, anything like that, it's better to sweep that up and don't over salt your driveway or your sidewalk.
Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
And looking around the state now, out in West Allis, a little bit outside Milwaukee, a woman there says she was a victim of a racist encounter at an Oak Creek car dealership. She says this happened when she got an oil change and noticed the sticker she received had the N-word printed on it. A protest outside the dealership took place on Saturday, calling for more accountability. The dealership, Coons Buick GMC, says the employee responsible for printing the sticker has been fired. Still ahead here on Weekend Mornings, we take an inside look at a musical that's getting some rave reviews here in Madison, sitting down with a cast member of Shucked. Stick with us.
So over the next 7 days, we do have a few chances of snowfall, and here's a look at the snow chances. Small chance Monday night, but a better chance Wednesday into Wednesday night, and then again Friday into Saturday. Now, especially with Wednesday's system and Friday's system, a lot can change between now and then, but here's a look at what it looks like right now. So for Monday, after sunset, we'll see some light snow showers move through the region. Not expected to produce much accumulation, and it will clear out of the area before sunrise Tuesday, so this will mostly be overnight. Now Wednesday, this system does look a little interesting right now. It looks like the heaviest will stay south of Wisconsin, but some snow showers are expected for Wednesday afternoon into the evening hours. Again, it could drift south and miss us entirely, but right now we still are expecting some snow for Madison and especially areas south and east. Again, mostly Wednesday evening and Wednesday night should clear out Thursday, but then there's another chance of snow for Friday into Saturday. Again, a lot could change between now and then, but it's important to point out that accumulation is definitely possible with these systems, so we'll continue updating the forecast accordingly, but definitely stay updated to our latest forecasts.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Well, if you need a good laugh, there's a brand new show making its Wisconsin debut at Madison's Overture Center. The Tony Award-winning musical Shucked, the Pit Orchestra, is getting some rave reviews and features a Wisconsin native from Weston playing drums and percussion. Susan Simon talked to him about why Shucked is really popping with audiences.
We're here to tell you a fable.
A farm to fable.
I'm talking corn.
So this is a musical about corn. What is this show about?
It is about corn. It's about a little town called Cobb County. No one really knows where it is, but people, have their thoughts and ideas. Maybe it's Iowa, maybe it is Wisconsin, But yeah, it's about a small town that their corn dies and they need to figure out how to fix it. And throughout the story, they meet an out-of-towner and they learn to come together and fix the corn and fall in love,
What's interesting, this is a completely original production.
Yes.
This is not based on a book or a show or really anything else, right?
Yeah.
And it was a long time in the making, I understand.
It was. I couldn't even tell you how many years, but there's been many versions of it throughout the years, and I know I've met a lot of people on the road along the way that have been in some sort of form of it, back when it was out in Salt Lake City.
Is it a dramatic story? Is it a funny show? How would you describe it?
I'd say it's funny and lighthearted.
This isn't an argument. I'm right, and you're just saying things.
You come to the theater, you laugh, and then you leave you feel good about yourself. You feel good about, what you just saw in the story. It's very uplifting.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people, enjoy.
Yeah.
A chance to
Need
laugh
and
out
enjoy.
loud.
Yeah, it's not a heavy show, we're not leaving like, oh, okay.
But since it's a new production,
Yeah.
people don't necessarily have a connection to the music.
True.
It won't be music, or will it be music that people recognize?
Yeah, it won't be unless you listen to the cast album that's out on all the platforms. But yeah, it's all original works.
They have a real pedigree, the people who wrote this music. Brandy Clark and Shane McAnally.
McAnally, yep. Who Shane just won a Grammy.
Right.
The other night.
Right.
They're from Nashville, and they write for a lot of country stars and artists down there, and they teamed up and wrote all the original music for this, which makes it very special,
So this show is country music.
Yes, I'd say Broadway country. Broadway genres are similar to the genre, but with a Broadway twist. So it is, yeah, you can put country pop around it.
Was this always a dream of yours, to be in Broadway?
Yeah. Ever since I was little and I started watching the musical Cats, we had that on DVD. That was my show of choice, I guess. And yeah, it's always something that I just found fascinating and wanted to figure out how to do.
And what's the experience been like for you?
Incredible. I mean, nerve-wracking, especially when you're subbing shows in New York. You basically get the materials and then you learn the show. You have no rehearsals, and the time you do the show is for a sold-out audience on Broadway. So it was nerve-wracking, but once you get past that and you do well and you make the connections, it just kind of opens so many doors and you get to meet so many cool, wonderful people.
So maybe this will become the next Broadway classic. It's always exciting to see a new show.
It is.
There aren't very many new things.
There's not, yeah. There's a lot of jukebox shows now and
Yeah.
revivals, but yeah, this one did well on Broadway. Maybe in 20 years it'll go back and be the revival, and then it'll run for a while. We'll see.
Well, best of luck to you. Enjoy your time at home.
I appreciate that.
And there are two performances of Shucked today at Overture at 1 and 6:30. Tickets are at overture.org. Still to come, a massive sturgeon is caught on Lake Winnebago on opening day of the spearing season. Plus, Jacob is back with the full first warm forecast. This is Weekend Mornings.
Good morning, everybody. Here's a final look at the 3 things you need to know. We're going to see cold temperatures for much of this week. Light snow expected on Monday night. Right now, there is a good chance of more snow for Wednesday and then again Friday into Saturday. But as I mentioned a moment ago, a lot can change between now and then. So for today, We're seeing some clouds early in the day for southern Wisconsin, but everyone expected to see mostly sunny skies by the afternoon. And clear skies will continue for the most part tonight. We'll see some passing clouds, but sunshine is expected to start Monday. But by the afternoon, we'll start to see some clouds roll into Wisconsin, and we are going to see some snow, but likely not until after sunset. Some snow showers will move in from the west, spreading out across much of southern Wisconsin. Not going to bring a ton of snowfall, but everyone is expected to see at least some light flurries at times. And this is also going to clear out before sunrise Tuesday. So again, mostly in the overnight hours, and we'll actually see sunshine for a good portion of the day on Tuesday. Looking at accumulation from this, only about an inch at most, especially for areas west of Madison. Could see about a dusting for the rest of our region, but again, this is not expected to be a big issue. Looking at the temperatures today, they are going to be cold despite the sunshine. Highs in the 20s. Highs will be in the teens for areas near Eau Claire. And for tonight, we'll see clear skies with cold lows. We'll see lows around 10 for southern Wisconsin, but in the single digits once again for La Crosse and areas to the north. And for tomorrow, temperatures very similar. Again, sunshine in the morning, clouds developing later. The snow probably not going to enter our area until after sunset. Now, as we take a look at the wind chills, they're going to remain below zero for the next couple of mornings, at least get close to zero for southern Wisconsin and staying below zero for central and northern Wisconsin, possibly in the negative teens for those of you tuning in from Eau Claire. And that's for Monday morning. Tuesday morning is expected to get a little colder, possibly wind chills near negative 20 for Eau Claire and negative 5 for Madison, negative 10 for La Crosse, I want to point out as well. So we are going to consistently see these cold temperatures with wind chills below zero for the morning, and it may only get colder from there because the actual low temperatures do look to get colder, so the wind chills will likely get colder as well. Now, as we take a look at the highs going forward, look at the top. Normal high is 29, and that's going to warm up a little bit towards the end of the 10-day forecast, but the actual temperatures likely going to stay below that level. So we're going to be struggling to even get to 30 the next couple of days. We could get there for tomorrow and then a little bit later towards the weekend, but for the most part, consistently cold temperatures with highs in the teens and 20s, and lows will be in the single digits a lot, possibly below zero, especially the further north you are located. Again, we also are going to see some snowfall. Looks like we'll see some snow Wednesday afternoon and evening, and then again later in the day Friday into Saturday. And the coldest stretch does look to be early next week, where we'll see high temperatures in the middle teens and lows below zero.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Hey, take a look at this now. A massive catch was out on Lake Winnebago yesterday. This is a 180.5-pound sturgeon measuring 79.3 inches long. Their opening day of the spearing season was yesterday, and this is the fourth largest ever caught on the Winnebago system. 169 lake sturgeon were speared throughout the system on Saturday, with 19 juvenile females, 57 adult females, and 93 males. We'll still come here on weekend mornings. We take a look at some popular Super Bowl food. Plus, here's a look at what's to come on For the Record.
Hey Kyle, coming up this morning on For the Record, it's actually a segment that we've been working on for a while. We're taking a look at the impact of President Trump's ban on trans people serving in the military with a former trans service member who actually served up here in Wisconsin. And our colleague Ellie LaLiberte continues the conversations that we've been having with the candidates running to lead Wisconsin's education agency. That's all ahead this morning.
Finally this morning, football fans will likely carry out a time-honored tradition by munching on one of the day's biggest food choices, downing millions of slices of pizza during the Super Bowl today. When people order their slices, they will also be helping to mark National Pizza Day. But that's not all. Other foods like chips and salsa are also popular choices for Super Bowl Sunday. That, along with pizza, are also trending cheaper this year, while raw chicken wings, avocados, and cherry tomatoes are all up on their prices. Super Bowl Sunday is second only to Thanksgiving when it comes to the amount of food that Americans eat. Jacob Montesano has a final check of the forecast.
Yeah, we're going to see some cold temperatures today, and for the most part, those temperatures will remain cold going forward. They'll fluctuate a little bit, but in general, we'll consistently see highs in the teens and 20s, where we're now getting into the time of year where the average high is in the lower 30s. Still in the upper 20s right now, but by the end of the 10-day forecast, it will be around 30 to 31 degrees. We also have a few chances of snowfall, light snow expected Monday night. little bit more consistent snow expected Wednesday, but a lot could change between now and Wednesday. That system may drift to the south of us, and then we have more snow chances for Friday into Saturday. And after that snow chance over the weekend, temperatures look to really cool down to start early next week.
Thank you, Jacob, and thank you all for watching. Have a great Sunday, folks.